C-Learning is a premier education partner for Google, and we're partners with HP and lots of other wonderful people who are here today. Any questions about anything to do with HP or Google technology, seek myself out or Ian, our chief executive, who's in the room somewhere. Over there he is. We also have Neil, who's in the room somewhere as well, who's developing. He's at the back. So seek us out. Happy to talk about anything to do with that. And also, one of the things I really would like to stress today as well is that although you're going to see some awesome presentations, we've got some amazing speakers today from global leaders in technology. The real value for me in terms of my experience at these events is to connect to people, people you might not have met before. And I think that's part of what we're going to get on today. You'll probably have already seen the agenda. The only thing I tweaked on the agenda from what was on the website was I brought forward the coffee break. So we're going to have 4 presentations from GISC, who are going to be talking about Education 4.0 and the next industrial revolution, if you like. We've got an amazing presentation from Google and Kerry, who's here today, and we've got Grant first up from HP as well. And then just after, I'll introduce Anthony, the Chief Executive and Principal of Basingstoke in a minute, who will welcome you formally to Basingstoke. But that's basically the agenda. The thing I will say about the agenda is we're going to really stick to time, so I'm going to be ruthless about that, and so is Ian. So, out of courtesy to you guys, because I know you might have connecting trains and things like that, so we'll really stick to the time on the schedule. I just want to say a huge thank you. I haven't got the time right now to go into the detail of all these companies, but I just want to say a massive thank you to our stakeholders today who've supported us. So HP, Google, Morgan Hunt, TechHelp, Century, all the companies on here. These are not a random group of companies that are in front of you today. They are very strategically targeted. And in my personal subjective opinion, the reason behind that is because I wanted all of you here today from your institutions to meet organisations that if you want to reach out to them, you can connect with them and you can have impact fast, and they're credible. So there's no sales pitches, there's no sort of embellishment. These people have a credible track record in education of having impact that's tangible and significant and that you can do quickly, because we understand very much the pressures that FE and education is under right now. I'm from education, I've helped run 2 different colleges, I run a school at the moment, so I'm just setting up a multi-academy trust. So I get the pressures, I understand it. And this is a really select group of people, and we've got GISC here as well, of course, as supporting us, who can actually give you insights into having impact fast. So thank you to everybody there. This is everybody who's kind of here today. Some people can't make it, but most people who are on here are here today represented in one way or another. Now, if you want to connect to someone on here and you're not quite sure, well, who's the person from, Trafford College Group or something, reach out to me, Ian, or Neil, or any of the C-Learning team, and we will connect you, because I think that's really valuable. And just to facilitate this as well, as if by magic, in theory, at 1 o'clock in the morning last night from the hotel room, you should have had in your inbox, if you registered for this event, a little link that's come through on an email to send you to a form where you can say a little request. So you put in your details, it takes 2 seconds, and you can, me and the C-Learning team can pick that up. And after today's event, if there's someone you want to connect into on here that you didn't get a chance to over coffee or over lunch, we will ensure that happens afterwards, okay? Because I think that's really important that you have that opportunity to do that, okay? I'm almost out of time now, and I haven't got time to go into this slide that I randomly put together, but I just want to share a couple of things with you from here, because I had the really good privilege last week to be in Houston, Texas with the wonderful friends at HP, who put on an amazing global partner forum. And some of the insights from that were just incredible, and I could talk about this for an hour, but I've got 60 seconds. There was so much stuff going on that you guys need to be aware of, some of which you'll hear about today in terms of artificial intelligence and data security and various other things that are impacting on our lives now, and especially in education. But also things like 5G. 5G is coming down the road, and it's got massive implications. Again, I can't go into it today, but if you want to connect to me over lunch or any of the C-Learning team, we'll talk about it. Esports, absolutely massive industry now. It's bigger than baseball in America. I found out some incredible things last week about this. It is a huge industry. And if you want an indication of the opportunity there for FE, we have some friends at Stafford University who have the most successful esports course in the country. And Stafford University are hugely successful in this area. So much so they've had to build multi-million-pound facilities just to house the demand from the students. So if I was in charge of curriculum right now in a college, I would seriously be thinking about that, because that university can't cope with the demand. It's the biggest course in the university, and that's happened in less than 36 months. So I know a lot of my academic friends and professors might go, esports? That's like a Mickey Mouse degree. Oh, no. They were visionary. Stafford Uni were visionary. And they are absolutely leading the way now. So my advice to colleges is be the supply chain for that, because if you start getting into that area, you're going to be booming. I haven't got time to go into lots of other stuff here, other than personalisation. AI and how it's creating personalisation in our world, it's going to be massive. Again, I'll talk about that over lunch if anyone wants to grab me over a coffee. That's a desk at NASA, by the way. I had the luxury to go to NASA last week as well. And NASA are building collaborative spaces now in ways where I was thinking about that. I was thinking about learning spaces. Again, you're in an amazing place here at Basingstoke. Again, I haven't got the time to go into it today, but you're in such an awesome place here. And if you get a chance to visit again and have a look around and connect some of the incredible team here, under Anthony's leadership, there is just an incredible amount of innovation going on in this organisation. They innovate, they experiment, they adopt tactically and wisely technologies that have impact, whether that's Century, Google technology, HP kit, a whole range of other stuff. So you're in an awesome place. I'm out of time now. I'd love to talk about this for absolute ages, you can probably tell. So I'm going to hand over now to just introducing. Oh, actually, I've forgotten one thing before I actually hand over to Anthony. My housekeeping stuff. Sorry. Oh gosh, I'll be flat for this one. Safeguarding. You've all got these on, haven't you? So make sure that you only stick to the designated area, coming out of here and going back into the entrance, and don't wander off anywhere else, okay? Otherwise I'll get shouted at for safeguarding. We're not expecting any fire drills. If we do, there's a fire sign outside, just follow the staff who know where they're going. In the event of that, Scott and the team. And I think that was the main housekeeping stuff. Restrooms, by the way, are just out to the left if anybody needs it. So without me saying anything further, it's now a great privilege now to welcome an absolutely awesome Chief Executive and Principal in Further Education, Mr. Anthony Bravo, the Chief Executive of Basingstoke College of Technology. Anthony.
Jamie. You're too kind. Thank you so much. Some of these slides are so good, I'm actually going to put back, whoops, what have we got technology? Can you somebody put back the one with all the sponsors on? That was really, really useful.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Up and down on this.
Yeah. Well, my name's Anthony Bravo, and I'm really proud to be the Principal of Basingstoke College of Technology. It's a real privilege, and I really want to welcome you to this event, which I'm sure you're going to find of value. Many of you know that we as a college, that one there, perfect, have been on a real journey of e-competence, and some of the people in this room actually sparked that journey several years ago. What's been really exciting about that journey, it's been really learner-led and learner-focused. And when I say learner-led, we actually started that journey by having our learners training our teachers on how to use the technology, which is what everybody knows. If you get stuck on technology, what do? You get your kids to explain it to you. And that's what we did. And some of them started off part-time teaching a few champions, then they became digital apprentices, and now they've become digital learners, and you'll actually see them around the college today helping with this event. And that's one of the things we're really proud of, and that's one of the things we won the TESS award for. But more importantly to educationists, I think we're concerned about the impact. What difference is it making? And what difference is it making to the staff, and what difference is it making to the students? Staff, I'm picking up, are really loving it because it's saving them one of the most valuable things in the world, which is time. Often what it's doing is taking away what I call the donkey work, the marking of things. And it's actually helping to identify with learners what areas they need to focus on more, particularly the artificial intelligence stuff with Century. And similarly, what I find with students, with some of the gamification of the vocational learning, such as with GBS, they love doing it because it's like a computer game. And I remember having a kid who came back and spent the whole weekend doing the whole course in one weekend, simply because they wanted to learn how to get to the very end of it and actually enjoyed it so much. Whereas with the Century stuff, we had an 80-year-old learner doing functional skills English. So, you know, there is no limits to who can actually use and take advantage of this. Very simply, I would say to achieve impact and change within your organisations, there's two main elements. One is to identify champions who will do something for nothing practically. And the second is you have to persuade the boss to actually want to do it. If the boss or the senior team are completely behind the idea, it's really, really hard work. Then if you're lucky, you end up with a fantastic team, like Scott leads for me, and Alex and other people here. And you just give them, again, that gift, that little bit of time. They're not desperate for money, they just want time, recognition, and the opportunity to try things. Sometimes things will go wrong. Not often, but they will. Don't kill them if it goes wrong, all right? Let people make mistakes, let them try. I think it was Senna or Andretti said, if everything feels under control, you're not going fast enough. So you have to be pushing, but you have to be aware that things sometimes won't happen perfectly. I have to thank the people on this slide, simply because this wouldn't be happening without them. And so C Learning, I've got to say, Jamie actually has done all the work in organising this with my team, and I'm really, really grateful for them. HP, GVS, Century Tech, all those people have done a lot. Paul has been very humble. Paul's been very humble about this. This all started from Paul standing at a lectern at an AOC meeting and saying, the stuff going on at BCOT is what you need to see. And as a result of that, a whole group of people like yourselves all said, oh, we better go off to BCOT and see what's going on. And I suddenly realised I had 50 different people at 50 different times, and that would have taken my gift of time away from my people. So thankfully you've all come at the same time, which is absolutely fantastic. All I want to do is say, I really hope you enjoy today and you take away a couple of things which you can take back to your own organisations and make a difference. Good luck, enjoy, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, next up we have Grant, HP. Do you want the clicker?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, down to
Down as well. Right, so good morning everybody, and listen, firstly thank you for the invite to come to Basingstoke. I was actually here yesterday, believe it or not. I did a bit of travelling in my job, so I look after the partners in HP's partner community and work very closely with Jamie and Ian from C Learning, and it's a great pleasure to be here to talk to some educators in this particular space. I had an opportunity last night to think about what I was going to talk to you about, and I thought text speeds, images of product, lots of data points would be really cool. And then I thought, actually, having been at World Partner Forum with Jamie last week in Houston, I thought, actually, maybe I'll just give you an idea of what HP's education strategy is and how we use a whole bunch of global data to define our strategy and bring it down to you guys in a meaningful manner. So, really what our education strategy boils down to is about digital transformation. You know, I know that you will all have heard about digital transformation, but for us, it boils down to some outcomes. Specifically workflows, mobility, experiences, and security. These are big elements for us in terms of how HP creates its strategy and its products relating to those digital transformation outcomes. And for us, we focus on the office. You know, we're about preparing the office environment and people for the office environment, and products designed to be used in that office environment. But it dawned on us about five years ago or so that actually you've got to start earlier. You can't just talk about the office, you've got to prepare the workforce for the office. So we started to build something called Classroom of the Future. And the Classroom of the Future was really the idea about imbuing skills that are needed for success in the future environments, the future workforce, and capturing those skills and capabilities. So in the mature markets, of course, it's not about access to education facilities because everyone can go to a college or a school. But it's more about the outcomes. So how do you make those college experiences or those classroom experiences really meaningful? And of course, when we did the classroom, we realized actually, well, that's just the first step, and then obviously there's the campus of the future. So we developed a process around, basically driving innovation in campuses around the globe that impact industries, again, then changing the office of the future. And these are both, strategic objectives for us right at the board level. So Dion, our CEO, is very focused on our education strategy. And our goal, from a social perspective, is to improve the outcomes of over 100 million children globally by 2025. And we're well on track to deliver that objective. So let's just delve into what these are in a little bit more detail, because they're a bit of marketing, blurb, Classroom of the Future, Campus of the Future. What does it actually mean? Because it is applied in research, and it is based on data points that HP collects globally. So let's just take Classroom of the Future, which I know is not really this, audience's expertise, but it's important for you to understand how we build it up from this point onwards. So we focus on 5 key areas. First, student centricity. So what is around that student? And we do things like our learning studios. We do 65 learning studios across 15 different countries, gaining learnings about how students engage with technology in a more interactive way. We've done a lot of innovation in terms of our AR, VR, and 3D strategies for key students in the K-12 area, using programs from Harvard, MIT, and a number of other universities in the US. And we also do a lot of surveys. For example, we survey over 100,000 candidates in terms of teachers, students, parents, and employees to understand what our products should be looking like and what we should be doing from an education standpoint and the social impact of those changes. We work with the UN Okay, and this is more in the emerging markets to try and help essentially, people in more difficult situations like Syria, for example, and trying to drive education stories and messages out to those populations. And with all of that, brings to sort of the forefront our education products that we bring to market. So we build specific products designed for education, both in the K-12 space, but also in the the university and colleges space. And these products are affordable, designed to be affordable because budgets aren't getting bigger, let's face it. But they're also designed to be ruggedized, so essentially, they can survive the batterings that are here within various different classroom environments. And they're designed for teaching, but specifically for learning. And we will use, Chrome being a great example. We've done a lot of work with Chrome and Google to make sure that our products are ready for that next generation of technologies. Capital of the Future is slightly different. The Capital of the Future is really the investments that HP makes in terms of a research-based framework to help develop new technologies within key universities around the globe. And there's a list of universities inside. There's a couple that are kind of in the European Union, but also in the UK. So University of Geneva, University of Paris, and Glasgow as well. And with each of these universities, we are actively working in research projects with these guys to drive a lot of investment, but also understanding about what technology can do for students, but also what we can do in terms of the future of our working products. So, for example, Campus of the Future is really focused on 3D research in higher education, but we leverage these partnerships and we identify new and existing opportunities for research. And really, if you think about it, it's about how do we prepare for the future. And we really are in that experience age. So as an institution like the BOC, Basingstoke College of Technology, the experience age is about being engaged, right? When was the last time your 20-year-old or 70-year-old actually owned a device? I mean, they don't own anything anymore, they rent it. They use the experience, they use the data, and then they collaborate, share, and then they move on. They go and pick another device, they go and pick another system that is effective for them. And we've moved along that transition. For me, I remember the information age, that's when I started. I remember my little cube, okay, and that's where I started my journey on the employment scale. But this is where the market is going for. And we need to prepare our students for that in the future. And this is where IT does become a competitive advantage for institutions. Okay? You can really make a difference in terms of making sure that Generation Z, as we're now calling them, are ready for those environments, but also you are able to compete with other universities and colleges and making your environments ready for them as well. And we talked about esports. Jenny mentioned it already, right? Esports is a big push across the globe. It is massive, and HP is at the forefront of those sort of activities. So for us, it's a continuum. Okay. For us, we think about how do we build a story to get people ready for the future. And so we start with the Classroom of the Future, which is about collaboration, communication, creativity, critical thinking, getting students ready for the future in terms of the Campus of the Future. We will then apply research, we'll look at sustainability and lifelong learning programs. And all in preparation for the workforce of the future, the workplace of the future. So lifestyle, work style, but also anywhere, anytime, always on, always connected. Okay? People, experience, and technology is how we bring it all together. So I put the slide up, and I almost didn't in the end, but the reason I did, because it made me kind of smile internally, because this is very much me when I look at the slide. So I graduated from Surrey University. I went to work for HP. Guess what? I still work for HP. So I haven't sort of got down that sort of that journey yet. But my brother, who's 10 years younger than me, has had 5 employees, and he's in that sort of generational gap where he will go and mix around, and he will go and have multiple journeys around his workplace. He is very much also focused on project-based work. He's a consultant, so he does all kinds of various different projects. Myself, I work in sales and have done so since I left university. But also the organisations are changing, right? So the employment expectations are changing, but also the employer and employee need to change their relationships, right? Anytime, anywhere is a massive push for us. And you think of Chrome or Google products, right? They're connected, they're always on, amazing battery life, and they're designed for that sort of future technology. So really for us, and I'll sort of summarise with a slide, and then I'll pass you on to the next speaker. But you know, we're aiming to develop an adaptable, flexible education system with the technologies and products that we bring to market. Okay, it's enabling and empowering teachers, right, to keep learning, because actually the teachers aren't learning, then how the children are going to keep learning? We've got to keep that in mind when we talk about education. And by doing so, we look to reinvent the classroom through the products and solutions that we work with partners like C Learning and at institutions like Basingstoke to make that come together. So, you know, with that, I will say thank you for your time. I did try and stay away from products. I hope that was okay. I know you don't want to see a Chromebook or, you know, a device, because I'm sure C Learning can help you with all that stuff. The idea is really to give you a sense that HP is heavily invested in education, both globally and in the UK. And we really, thanks for all your time. I hope you get a lot out of today and take away some key learnings from the guys who are the true experts in education in this space. So thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the day. And Jamie, I'll hand back to you.
Thank you. Cheers, Graham. Thank you very much. That's great. And HP have got some awesome stuff. Again, if you want to find out more about that, I know Grant has got an incredibly tight, complex schedule today, so Grant might have to shoot off, so may not be around later on for you to talk to, but we have colleagues in the room who
Dan Martin's in the room. So.
Right, okay, so we've got colleagues in the room who can help out. Also, any of the C Learning team, just reach out to us. Thank you, Grant. Over to